Hello, this is Major Henderson, your Accounting 1 instructor. What we're going to do is we're going to cover some basic functions of Excel. And the reason why we're doing this is because these are the basics that you're going to need to be able to survive throughout this class. All right, so let's start off with just talking about generally formatting of cells. What you will do is you will highlight the cells that you want to change the format in. So for this example, we're going to take A1 all the way down to D10. We're going to highlight all those cells and we're going to change these to a format in which we can utilize in accounting. So you're going to right click, go down to where it says Format Cells. If you look here, there's several tabs across the top. We're just going to deal with number and you will see accounting. You'll leave the decimal places at 2 and the symbol will be a $sign. And just hit OK. And let's just try this and see if it works. So let's just type in 30. And there you go, $30. Okay, so let's talk about basic addition at this point. How do we add cells together to get an answer? How do we add, subtract, multiply, or divide as far as that goes? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just go with our A1 cell being 30. And let's go over here to B2 and let's just type in 20, for example. All right, so that comes up to a total of, that's going to come up to a total of 50. Now, there's a couple ways we can go about this. First off, we can just go ahead and just do the simple math. We can just say equals, because what that's going to tell us is this cell is going to equal the number of the information in whatever cells that we're going to add together in this case. So in this case, we'll take A1, and if you notice here, it will say equals A1, and then we'll add a plus sign, and then we'll click B1, and there we go. It comes to a total of $50, like we talked about. All right, now, what if we wanted to subtract this number? What if we wanted to subtract these cells? So what we would basically do is we would do the same thing. We would start off with our equal sign. We would go to A1, and then we would just use the minus sign and B1. And it comes up to $10. Okay, so we can do this for multiplication and division also. So we can just go equals A1. Now for this one, you're going to hit Shift 8 because the star is the actual multiplication sign in Excel. And then B1. And there we have $600. We could also do a division type process where we go again with our equal sign, A1, and then we're going to come down to where it says where the question mark is and hit the backslash, and then because that's the division sign in Excel, and then okay, well, let's get rid of that. Let's put it in a cell up here where we want it to be. All right, so equals A1 divided by B1, and there we go. It'll be $1.50. Okay, so that's fairly simple. But what if we had multiple amounts of information that we wanted to add together? What if we had like 2 or 3 numbers that we wanted to add, or 3 or more numbers we wanted to add together? We would just wind up doing this. We would go 20, let's go with 30. Okay, so in the cell we wanted our answer in, instead of putting an equal sign, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to formulas. And you will see this symbol here where it says auto sum. If we're going to add these together, what we're going to do is we're just going to hit that symbol. And if you notice down here in the cell D1 where we want our information to go, it says equal sum, parentheses, A1 colon C1. What that's saying is it's going to add all those numbers in those cells from A1 all the way to C1. And so when we hit enter, there we go. That's our number. So it comes up to $80. Now, let's say we had like 5 cells and this was going to be our total for all of our, we were going to have totals in each one of these cells all the way down to, you know, D4. So let's go ahead and let's just put some information in here. Okay. Instead of going through here and through each one of these in each one of these cells and redoing our auto sum function, there's an easier way to do this. Go to the original cell that has your formula in it. And if you notice, I'm going to zoom this in for a second. If you notice here in this corner, you see a darkened box. It looks like a dot or a square. You move your cursor to where it turns into a black crosshair. Actually what you'll do is you'll left click, hold the button down, and you'll drag it to each cell. And it will automatically populate all the cells where you want the information. Okay, and this is where your total line would be. Okay, so let's talk about adjusting the size of cells. Now, let's say you have several numbers in here, and when you do this, you see how you get these hashtag signs. All you have to do, there's two ways to do it, but there's one way that's simpler than the other, is you come here and you can grab it and you can drag it, and there you go. Or what you can do is just bring it here to where you would have grabbed it before and just double click, and it automatically adjusts itself. All right, so let's talk about renaming our spreadsheet. If you notice down here in the very bottom, you'll see this tab that says Sheet 1. And you're going to need to know this because you're going to have a massive workbook throughout this course. It's going to take you from the beginning of the process all the way to the very end. And this is very important that you keep this material in one place instead of multiple workbooks, just simply because you'll be able to go back and review this information. It'll have all your test data in it, all your practice information, everything. So it's better if you just keep it, and we'll talk about how we're going to name this spreadsheet. All right, all you will have to do is come down and double click where it says Sheet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll see it'll gray out, and the cursor on the end will start to flash. Just right click and type in, let's say this is going to be 8.1 exam. All you will do is just type in 8-1 exam, and there you go. That's all it will say. And then when you add another sheet to it, and let's say this is going to be 9-1 exam, go to rename. You can either double click it like I did the first time, or you could right click and hit rename. And let's go with 9-1 exam, and that way I know exactly what tab you're working with. Or I can go, from an educator perspective, I can go back and see a data trend and look at your individual growth. Okay, so now what do we name this spreadsheet? Okay, all you're going to do is when you go to save this in your student drive or on your laptop or on your desktop or your computer, which brings up another point, I recommend you put this in two places. Number one, you save it on your desktop in your computer, and also back it up to your student drive on the school server. All right, you'll go up here to File. You'll go to Save As or Save. I know this version of Windows is a little different, or Excel is a little different than what you have, so we'll just go with this. You'll basically go to your desktop, and here's what you're going to name it. You're going to name it your last name and workbook, and you'll save it. Okay. All right, and that will save your workbook for you. Again, keep this video, and you can refer back to it as you go along. After a while, you won't need it anymore, but however, it will be there for review for yourself. All right, thank you, and have a good afternoon.